What is going on, everybody? Welcome to 5 tips and tricks for the Nathan fight and Terminus Easter egg. Any and all information about like, subscribing, and all that will be at the end, so don't worry about having to do that during the middle of the video. Let's get into it. Tip number 1. Your gear is more important than the round. What we mean by that is the gear that you enter the Nathan fight with is far more important than the round you start the Nathan fight on. For example, the Patient 13 fight at the end. That is very, very impacted by the round that you start on. If you start that on round 50 versus round 30, you're going to notice a world of difference. Even something as simple as round, say, 25 to 35, you're going to see a huge difference. But the Nathan fight, not so much. Usually, Superbench 45 and I, shout out, would start the Nathan fight on round 16. Our winning run for the Easter egg, we started the fight on round 20. It is huge because we were able to get that gear done. We were able to get the gear by that time, and you want to invest time into the weaponry that you have. The more that you invest, the more that you're going to increase damage reduction that you receive, and you will outpace the damage and difficulty increase of the rounds. Alright, it is extremely important to keep an eye on the gear that you have. Speaking of gear, tip number 2, you need, I don't care what anybody says, alright, yes, you could do this without this tip, but you know what, it's going to be brutal if you do. You essentially need a double pack-a-punch wonder weapon. Doesn't matter what it is. I have personally had it where I have the beam smasher and I will take him out within 2 to 4 minutes. Very easy with a double pack-a-punch beam smasher. Again, round 16 to 20, right? Usually I think it's round 18 that we did that, round 16. But on the round 20, we had a double pack-a-punch ray gun, and the ray gun melted him in 15 seconds. You should be seeing that footage on your screen now. Now that is huge, okay? That is output of damage that we cannot describe as to why it is so broken. But if you can get a ray gun and double pack-a-punch it, trust me, you're going to want it for the rest of the egg, because that is a huge damage output against Nathan especially. And doesn't matter what round. Yes, round 20 is late. Round 25 would be late for Nathan. But again, you should be outpacing your standing versus the difficulty of the round increasing. We recommend going in with double pack punch ray gun. We recommend over the beam smasher, but you could definitely go in with a beam smasher. It would take me about 2 to 4 minutes with the beam smasher double packed, but you want it double pack punched. And why double packed? Because I had a time with Superbench 45 where we went into a public match and it took me nearly 4 minutes just to get him a quarter of the way, and we ended up dying after about 15 minutes on that fight running around because we couldn't do damage. There was no way for us to do damage. It was impossible. So you want a double pack punched wonder weapon. I had a single pack punched wonder weapon during that failed attempt, and the ray gun double packed was the first time bringing the ray gun into Nathan fight. You're gonna want it. Tip number 3, there are super sprinters. All right, in the beginning of the fight, people talk about super sprinters all the time in zombies. They've been around since World at War. They've been around since Black Ops 1. That's nothing new. These purple-eyed guys, they're something else. You cannot, well, maybe you can outrun them if you're quick enough, but you really cannot outrun them. They are going to destroy you, and their biggest problem with them is they do not let you heal a lot like the parasites. We recommend wholesale taking care of them before anything else, before Nathan, before the parasites, before armored zombies, before amalgamas, before manglers. It doesn't matter. Take care of those super sprinters with purple eyes in the beginning of the fight. They do spawn throughout the fight, but the biggest portion with them is in the first 15 to 20 seconds with Nathan when they all spawn in. You want to take them out. And we recommend having the beam smasher for that, because the alternate ability, in case you didn't know, increases the damage received for any and all affected zombies that you use the second ability on. It is, let's say, a 200% damage increase. It certainly feels about double, if not triple the damage that you normally do. I believe I read or heard somewhere it was 400 damage. I'm not quite sure about that, but it's definitely a lot more damage against an affected zombie by the secondary ability on the beam smasher versus a non-affected zombie. And you also get an increase in damage done to all zombies and enemies that are affected by the secondary weapon on the beam smasher by non-beam smasher weapons. It is a huge benefit to have, and the fact that it slows them down to a borderline crawl is massive and allows you to easily take them out during the fight. Tip number 4, you want at least one person to have the beam smasher to slow the zombies down to also help cover the guy with the damage for tip number 5. And this is really the biggest one in my opinion, because if you can't have a steady damage output on Nathan, he will regenerate health. He is a lot like the players in that sense, and he's a lot like the amalgamations, but even worse. He's a lot quicker with his regeneration, and he's a lot harder to keep up with. It is my opinion you should have a Beam Smasher and another person with one of the other wonder weapons. Whether that's the ray gun or another Beam Smasher, doesn't matter. I do personally believe that one person having a Beam Smasher to help slow zombies around the player doing damage output against Nathan is a much better idea than both of you focusing Nathan. Now, there is definitely room to argue that it's better to have both players do damage against Nathan himself, because obviously that means quicker end time to the whole fight as a whole. But again, if you can't do what we did with 15 seconds of a fight and that's it because of our double papped ray gun, you're gonna have a bad time. You just are. And it's a better idea to have somebody with good, reliable damage output with the Beam Smasher or ray gun versus two people trying to survive the horde and Nathan. Have one person defend, one person distract and hurt Nathan. And you also don't need a Beam Smasher to defend, obviously, either. You could also use other weapons. If you have PhD, get the Mustang and Sally's with GS45, the Mustang and Sally's basically, and just get PhD and defend them. You know, just use launcher rounds or something. Just make sure one person is always doing damage against Nathan, because otherwise he will out-heal your damage. It's not like the rounds. It's not like anything else. It's also not like the amalgamations. He's a lot more tough than the amalgamations. If you follow all 5 of these steps, gear is more important than the round. Pack a punch, 2 wonder weapon. Purple-eyed zombies run faster than you in the beginning. You have to take them out. Have somebody slow the purple-eyed zombies with Beam Smasher and cover the guy with the damage. You should have zero issue with this fight. Let me know how these tips worked for you guys. If you have any other tips of your own, please leave them in the description. And description, geez, yeah, I've only been here for 12 years, don't worry, guys. Please leave them in the comment section below. And this is also my first time making a video like this. Probably not very good. I doubt it's good at all. But hey, about 5-6 minutes for 5 tips. I think it's pretty good. Please make sure to like, subscribe if you guys wouldn't mind. And if you want to see more like this, please let me know. I could be more than happy to help you guys with how to get to Nathan. But there's 101 big YouTubers out there with guides themselves on how to get to the Nathan fight and also the Easter egg in general. We did complete the Easter egg run. I will be creating a Patient 13 guide at some point in the near future of when we defeated Patient 13 after about 5 attempts. It's not a tough, it's not an easy fight. It is a very tough fight, but that'll be for another time. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope that this all helps. And remember, the 7 Star loves you, even if you don't know it yet, and Jesus loves you. Have a great day, you guys. God bless, and goodbye.